Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mouthing Off with Mike Wrestling Podcast. And this episode, we've got predictions for the NXT Premium Live event this Saturday, NXT Deadline. And it's going to see the return of the Iron Survivor matches for both the women's and the men's. And that's going to determine who the respectful number one contenders will be for both NXT men's and women's championship. Plus, a whole hell of a lot more on the NXT Deadline card that we're going to jump into here on the Mouthing Off with Mike Wrestling Podcast. So sit back, relax, and let's start predicting some of these matches.
Mouthing Off with Mike, Mouthing Off with Mike, Mouthing Off with Mike.
The first match that we're going to cover here on the NXT Deadline card is a match that's not formally on the main match card, but is a match that is just recently announced this past week on NXT. Axiom taking on Nathan Frazer. Now, these two have a very long history when it comes to wrestling one another. Dates all the way back to NXT UK. Now, fully focused here in the NXT brand itself. We were supposed to see this match here on NXT, but it was called off due to the women's participant in the Iron Survivor match coming out, still brawling. This match then pushed to the NXT Deadline Kickoff show. So this is a tough one, really. It can go either way. But to see this man get a win would be nice. So I'm going to pick Axiom here. The next match that we're going to take a look at here on the NXT Deadline card is another match recently added here to the Premium Live event. It's going to see newcomer to NXT, formerly known as Brian Pillman Jr., now known as Lexis King, and he's going to take on him, Carmelo Hayes, in one-on-one action here at Deadline. Now, this is very interesting. The whole story, the whole overarching theme is that Melo had something to do with Trick's attack. Then we saw video footage posted by NXT Anonymous on Twitter showing that Lexis King was in the vicinity of the attack, saw Trick go backstage in the area where he was attacked. Then another video this week was released on NXT showing Melo on the phone with someone. At the same time the video of Lexis King was released, he was on the phone with someone. So now it seems, in Trick's perspective, that Melo and King are working together in some sort, and Melo had King attack Trick, so Melo's hands were clean. But to prove to Trick that is not the case, Melo challenges Lexis King to this match, and I don't know if she's now like Shawn Michaels' GM or whatever, but Ava Raine gets the match made with Shawn Michaels for Deadline. This is a tough one, man. The whole story with Melo and Trick, it's a very slow burn. It's very subtle. It's there, but we haven't really driven right into it, right? Like we haven't put the pedal to the metal and floored it to hit the next level, to hit that ramp. I think we're getting to that point very, very soon because Melo's ready to go to the main roster. I think Trick's ready to go to the main roster as well. So this story has to happen eventually. And I think this match could be the reason behind it. I'm going to get bold here. And I'm going to take Lexis King to defeat him, Carmelo Hayes. And I think it just makes sense to add to the trouble and the overall desperation that Melo's been feeling, losing these big matches, not qualifying for the Iron Survivor, not recapturing the NXT Championship. A lot happening here for his story alone, but I think Lexis King is going to get the win here. North American Champion, Dirty Dominik Mysterio, made Wes Lee jump through hoops. Hell, those hoops might have been on fire. Made Wes Lee compete in a grueling, fatal four-way to become Dirty Dom's number one contender and face Dirty Dom for that NXT North American Championship. Unfortunately, this past week on NXT, Wes Lee came out on a crutch, and he signified to the NXT universe and us that Wes Lee is going to be out of action for roughly up to a year with a back injury that will require surgery. Now, this absolutely guts me because Wes Lee is one of my favorites right now in NXT. And I was so looking forward to Wes Lee and Dirty Dom for the NXT North American Championship. And To be honest, Wesley and Dirty Dom's first match was fantastic, and I think their match here would have been even better. Unfortunately, injuries do happen in the world of professional wrestling. Nothing but thoughts, prayers, and a speedy recovery to the man, Wesley, who at one point people had said that this man is not going to be anything more than just a glorified mid-carder because he lost his tag team partner with MSK. And look what Wesley went on to do. One of the longest reigning North American champions, one of the best in-ring wrestlers in NXT, and one that is over by the fans and beloved by many and far wide. So, absolutely gutting here. But the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio, has a message for his son, and that message is that he is still going to have a match at NXT Deadline. He's going to take on Dragon Lee for that NXT North American Championship, and Rey Mysterio is going to be in Dragon Lee's corner. Rhea Ripley will be in Dirty Dom's corner for this match. So things are going to be very, very interesting here. I'm sticking to my guns here. Bold prediction on this NXT Deadline card. Again, Dragon Lee is going to become North American Champion. And that's going to start setting things in motion for the Judgment Day. Whether the fall of the Judgment Day is imminent, we'll see. But I think this is the first step in the Judgment Day losing some of its gold. Another absolute grudge match here on NXT Deadline. A rivalry that dates all the way back to Halloween Havoc. Even a little bit before then, we've got the Prodigy, Roxanne Perez, taken on the CEO, the business woman herself, Kiana James. And this match is a steel cage match. So when this was announced here this week on NXT, I was amped up. I'm a big fan of Roxanne. I'm a big fan of Kiana James. Both of these ladies, especially Kiana James, is really coming into her own here in NXT. The entire NXT women's division is so talented, and their ceiling is so high and above so many others in the industry right now that it is insane. And what Shawn Michaels is doing with them is chef's kiss. The guy just gets it, and he knows what he's doing with these women. We've got a steel cage match. You've got the Iron Survivor women's match on this card as well. Fantastic way to get this on the card. And I think this is a match that very well could steal the show. Both ladies absolutely despise each other. Looking for a big win here on a premium live event. I'm going to give the win here to Roxanne Perez. I think Roxanne needs a little bit more than Kiana, but I think this rivalry might just be about done after this steel cage. And if Roxanne wins, then what's next for Roxanne? I see her maybe navigating back into the NXT women's title picture, but that's dependent upon what happens with the NXT Breakout Tournament winner on the women's side, Lola Vice. She's got a contract for the NXT Women's Championship anytime, any place that she wants. Plus, you're going to determine another new number one contender to the NXT Women's Championship with that Iron Survivor match. So the NXT Women's Division absolutely on fire right now. Very excited for this steel cage match. But I think Roxanne Perez has got this one in the bag. The NXT Championship is on the line here, and the Mad Dragon himself, Ilja Dragunov, is going to take on Mr. Burn the Ships himself, Baron Corbin, for that NXT Championship. Now, this match is very intense, very personal. Baron Corbin's made it personal. Ilja Dragunov's made it even more personal. Just this past week on NXT, Baron Corbin was going in here on Ilja on a promo, telling him once he beats him for the NXT title, he can go home to his family because that's the only thing keeping him here. Ilja Dragunov does not destroy this man. He doesn't put him through a table. He doesn't do anything to him. He hugs him. I'm going to tell you right now here, if you are talking all that smack to a man, and instead of him putting you through a table, cracking you one, dropping you, whatever, and he hugs you, he embraces you, full on embraces you, you are absolutely screwed. Ilja Dragunov is going to go out there and he is going to beat the living hell out of Baron Corbin just for these last few weeks of what Corbin's been talking to him about. Now, don't get me wrong. Corbin's going to have himself a great showing in this match. He's been doing wonders for NXT since coming back, since kind of finding his new, who he is as a character. I love everything about this, but I think Ilja's got this locked down, and he's going to absolutely decimate Corbin and put himself on the map as one of the best NXT champions up to this point. This is the second year for the NXT Iron Survivor match, and it is one of the more unique concept matches that we've seen in WWE. You win this match here by, at the end of the time limit, you have the most pinfalls or submission wins at the end of the time. Now, when this match starts, essentially, if you are pinned or submitted, you have to go and you spend time in the penalty box. Very similar to hockey, if you ever watch hockey. So I like this match. There's a lot of moving pieces with this match. We saw it last year play out very, very well for Grayson Waller and Zoe Stark in the first match. I think this year they're going to up the ante. It's going to get better. You're going to see more chaos, I think, more action inside the penalty box, more desperation when it comes to the competitors and pinfalls. I think it's going to be a really good match. When you look at it on the men's side, you've got a very interesting pool of talent in this match. You've got Dijak. You've got Whoop That Trick Williams. You've got Tyler Bate. You've got Josh Briggs, and you've got Bron Breakker. Now, this is a very unique talent pool. Now, I would have bet my bottom dollar Melo would have beat Briggs in his qualifier. Melo did not win that match. Thus, in turn, Melo has Lexis King on this pay-per-view. Once again, going with that overarching theme, with Trick now getting opportunities for titles and Melo falling short consistently. The roles are now reversed. I said it a few weeks ago. I said it that Trick Williams is now Batman and Melo is now Robin. When it was during the Melo is him era, Melo was Batman and Trick was his Robin. Things are different now in this new landscape of NXT. This Iron Survivor match is going to be damn good. These 5 men can absolutely go in the ring, and it's going to be tough for me to pick a winner here. The obvious choice is Bron Breakker. The guy's done everything in NXT. I could see him coming in, absolutely dominating, decimating the field, and winning. But me personally, just because where I think everything's headed with Melo and Trick, I think Melo loses against Lexis King. Trick wins the Iron Survivor match. Melo comes out to celebrate with his good friend all these years together, and that's when Melo turns on Trick. I don't know, man. I don't book it. I don't write it. I just watch it. I predict it. I see where things are headed. And people are missing this. This whole massive thing with Melo losing matches, Trick winning matches. Trick wins Iron Survivor for the men's side. And I think then Trick and Melo have to have a beef before Melo leaves to the main roster and Trick goes into the NXT title picture. Or I could be way off. Trick doesn't win. Someone else wins like Bron Breakker or Dijak. Those are also my other 2 backups, But I'm sticking to it. Trick Williams wins the Iron Survivor match and becomes the new number 1 contender for the NXT Championship. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in the final match of the NXT Deadline Premium Live Event match card, and that is a mouthful, let me tell you right now. We've got the Women's Iron Survivor match. Tiffany Stratton taking on Blair Davenport, taking on Lash Legend, taking on Kelani Jordan, taking on Fallon Henley. Now, I absolutely love every single one of these women's competitors in this Iron Survivor match. They're all fresh. They're all new. Obviously, Tiffany, a former NXT Women's Champion in the field. So excluding her, the rest of the field, all new women in this title picture. I love to see it. This is going to be a great Women's Iron Survivor match. These women are highly talented, supremely talented. Fallon Henley, super underrated right now. Lash Legend body slammed Otis this past week on NXT in the 6-person mixed tag team match against the Alpha Academy. Lash Legend is her. We say Melo is him, and I'm going to tell you right now, Lash Legend is her. Mark my words right now. Lash Legend, she's going to be big time in WWE very, very soon. As for this match, this is almost impossible for me to give you a winner. I could say Tiffany because she's a past NXT Women's Champion. She's hungry. She wants to get back there, back to the Tiffy top. I could give you Blair Davenport. She was slighted. She attacked all these women in the NXT parking lot for months. But Nikita Lyons is back, attacking Blair Davenport. So very well, I think Nikita Lyons is going to get involved in this match, cost Blair Davenport the match. Already setting up that rivalry between those two. So I'm throwing Blair Davenport out of the hat here to win the Iron Survivor Challenge. Now you got Fallon Henley, Kelani Jordan, the rookie who has taken NXT by storm. She's fantastic. She was paired with Dana Brooke. There was going to be some sort of story between Dana and her at some point. Dana Brooke got released. I was sad to see it happen. I was excited to see where that story was going to go. Kelani Jordan, that's a tough one, man. She's the rook in the match. She's the rook of NXT right now, but she's taken the world by storm. She's taken NXT by storm. I don't think it's her time just yet. Blair Davenport and Nikita Lyons, I think that's going to happen. Kelani, I don't think it's her time yet. So you get left with 3 women here that I truthfully think could win this match. Tiffany, Lash Legend, and Fallon Henley. Now, this is very interesting. Fallon Henley is really coming into her own. I spoke about it earlier when I spoke about Kiana and Roxanne. Kiana coming into her own. Fallon Henley's another one. They're a former tag team, former NXT Women's Tag Team champs together. Then they went on to have beef. Fallon kind of got pushed to the back. She's kind of doing the Brooks and Briggs thing. I always get them confused. I always say Jensen as the other guy, but it's Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs. As for that matter, she's kind of been doing that. Now she's really getting her own opportunities. She got in the Last Chance Iron Survivor qualifier match. She won that match. She's here now. On NXT, she hit us with a yeehaw bitch and attacked Tiffany Stratton. We know those two don't like each other. So could that be a distraction for Fallon and Tiffany, that they just hate each other so much that they're not focused and their eyes are not on the prize in this match? It's a possibility. The way the Iron Survivor matches usually play out, there's a lot of chaos. Once you get pinned or submitted, you get thrown in the penalty box. You're in there for, I believe it's 90 seconds or 2 minutes. Then you come out. So if there's 2-3 women in that penalty box at a time and you got one-on-one happening in the ring, that's going to be a game changer. We saw it last year's matches. It all depends on who's in the penalty box, who's the hottest, who's the freshest competitor at that point in this match. That's who's going to win. So honestly, I'm going to give it to you. I think Lash Legend is going to win this match. And I think Lash Legend, after that body slam, I think really that's what kind of solidified it for me. I think people have been sleeping on her, and I think Lash Legend is going to win the Iron Survivor match just because we have so many other stories intermingling here in the Women's Iron Survivor match. And when it comes to the competitors, like I said, Nikita and Blair Davenport, there's beef. Kelani, she's the rookie. Can she sneak a win here? Possibly. Tiffany and Fallon, there's a lot of history there, a lot of beef between the two. Lash Legend, that's how I see it. I see that match playing out like that. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my NXT Deadline prediction video. Stay tuned to the socials for more on the Mouthing Off with Mike Wrestling podcast at MOWM_podcast. Thank you so much here for watching. Thank you so much here for listening. Leave a review, a rating on the audio side. If you're on Apple, Spotify, fill in the blank. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like the video, comment what match you're excited about for NXT Deadline, and make sure you subscribe so you help support Mouthing Off with Mike. As always, I've got NXT and WWE shop affiliate links in the description of this episode, so go cop some new NXT WWE superstar gear. You know, we got some new stuff from Punk, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, the holiday sweaters looking real cool this year. LA Night gear, yeah. So make sure you go ahead and check those links out and help support Mouthing Off with Mike. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Go out there and enjoy NXT Deadline from your host here. Till next time, go out there and enjoy some good pro wrestling.
Mouthing Off with Mike. Mouthing Off with Mike. Mouthing Off with Mike.